Hello there, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for a Carta Dab of the Day. Today is Monday. Hello, everybody. I bet many of you out there have loved someone a tremendous amount and you loved them incorrectly. You pushed them away by loving them so much. How many of you out there, I bet many of you, wanted something very bad, and focused on getting it, and because you tried to get something, you lost other things. You lost sight of other things. So you got to be really careful with wants and desires. You got to be really careful when you lay it all out there, because you've got to serve up wants and desires the way that the other individual needs them served up. You've got to serve things about things you want the way that that thing can accept what you're saying. Let me be clear about what I'm saying. This is very difficult for people to do. A lot of times in personal relationships, you love someone hard, you love someone aggressively, they get scared. They run. Even though you love them, they're afraid of it. How many times do you see it happen or hear it happen or have it happen to you that you're the one that's really interested in one party and the other party really isn't showing it back to you? You're smothering the other party. Smothering. That term's used all the time in relationships. Guess what? We all do it. We all do it. Well, how do we not do it? How do we find ways to communicate with loved ones about affection the way they need to have it served up? We have to find a way to speak the language they need to hear. Not about French or German. It's about words and messages that our loved ones want to hear from us that we're not serving up, because what we're serving up is what we need to hear. Think about it. So the change that really needs to happen is you need to look at your audience. You need to look at that person, at that entity that you love, and look at that person and say, how are you loving them? Are you loving them the way they need to be loved? This is not a selfish thing. This is not somebody having you kiss them and say, don't kiss me. Not like that. This is having someone smothered. This is having someone be overwhelmed with your affection to the point that they can't live with you anymore and say, I can't take it anymore. I can't take being told what to do. I can't take every minute of the day you're on top of me. Am I okay? Am I okay? I can't take, oh my God, how much I love you. I can't take it anymore. How many times have you heard that? I bet you've heard it in your lifetime. We all do this. We shower the people we love with our love. We do. Human nature, if you're a good person. Well, sometimes, unfortunately, when you shower the person with your love, the person you love with your love, you're overwhelming them. You're smothering them. And it's very difficult for some of us to see it. I spent the better part of 5 or 6 years, 7 years, the early part of my relationship with Mrs. Stoner in the following position. Here's Mrs. Stoner walking. But yeah, here's Mrs. Stoner walking. All right? Walking this way. Here's me. Behind Mrs. Stoner. Trying to figure out what she wanted. Trying to give her what I thought she needed. Now, I got to tell you something. It took me years to really understand what Mrs. Stoner needed. Took her years to find out what Mr. Stoner really needed. That's what relationships are about. You need some patience. You're in it for the long haul. So the odd thing about this whole thing, telling people how you feel, but also not smothering them, okay, and speaking the way they need to have it spoken, really is nothing more than common courtesy. Because what happens if you don't do it is it becomes frustrating. You send an incorrect message almost every time because either your tone is incorrect, the speed with which you talk is incorrect, or even the content of what you're saying is incorrect based on the person you're talking to. So you really have to find a way to communicate with that loved one. Communicate with the person that's the other side of this equation and learn from each one of these situations what the next one is that can be better. Think about it. Every time you make a mistake, you can walk away. Or every time you make a mistake, you can go, wait, I made a mistake. I got to remember that and not do that ever again. And you learn from your mistakes. Mistakes are fine as long as you learn from them. So remember, this is an interpersonal thing. It's very customizable. What that means is it's individual. We're all going to do it differently. Okay? But you now need to learn to serve up your affection the way that the person you love needs to have it served up. Think about it. Think about what you've been doing maybe your whole life. You've been speaking the way you need to speak. You've been loving a person the way you need to love a person and not thinking at all what they needed. Well, guess what? Now it's time for us to think about the other person. Let's have our dab. And remember, love a person the way they need to be loved. Give it to them in the language they need to have it said to them so that they understand it. Cheers. If you like this video, please subscribe. Have a great day.